Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Morse, and this is our final episode of the fall semester for Whether or Not. We have a lot to cover, including Nature in the News stories, talking about the Anchorage earthquake from this past week, as well as talking about avocado plantations and their impact on the environment. Later in the show, Patrick has a feature on winter weather fashion. All that and more, Whether or Not, starts right now. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Jacob Morse.
And I'm your forecaster, Bree Guy.
So Bree, it looks like a very cold weekend across Pennsylvania, but there is something to look forward to, right?
Yes, it's going to be cool, but we will be getting a slight break in terms of any precipitation. So if you have any weekend plans, those should not be hindered at all. So
Bree will give you all the details in the forecast in a little bit, but first, here's Nature in the News. About a week ago, on Friday, November 30th, a major 7.0 magnitude earthquake shook southern Alaska, with the epicenter only 8 miles to the north of the city of Anchorage, which has a population of about 300,000 people. Images of broken and sunken roadways and videos of violently shaking buildings made their way around social media. A tsunami warning was quickly issued for some of the islands and peninsulas around Anchorage, but those warnings were quickly canceled after it was clear that no tsunami threat existed. The United States Geological Survey, abbreviated to USGS, suspects that based on its seismic data that it's received, there is a 64% chance that economic losses range from $10 million to $1 billion. All Anchorage schools were closed throughout this past week while the district fixes its widespread damages. It was a very scary day for many in the Anchorage area, especially for those in this TV station, which, as you can see, was heavily damaged due to the earthquake. One of the more surprising things about this earthquake is that seismographs, which are instruments that measure and record the force and duration of earthquakes at different parts of the continental United States, detected the seismic waves from the Anchorage earthquake. Here, the seismograph from Penn State, which is over 3,200 miles away from Anchorage, Alaska, and you can see that the earthquake registered on this seismograph, which is pretty incredible. We hope that the people in and around Anchorage will be able to clean up from this natural disaster in the coming weeks.
over the past few years, the avocado has become a food beacon in the Western world. Everywhere you turn, there seems to be something with avocado on it and plenty of Instagram posts to confirm it. However, to many people's dismay, many restaurants and cafes are starting to remove the staple fruit because of environmental issues. This includes the large carbon footprint the fruit requires to travel across the country from farmland largely based in California and Mexico. Along with this, the increasing demand for the avocado has made prices go up tremendously. Forests are also suffering as they are being cut down to make room for avocado plantations, which contribute to higher greenhouse emissions and create issues with the water supply. Other issues brought up were higher usage of agricultural chemicals and more wood needed for shipping. Restaurants and cafes, especially those whose values are deeply rooted in sustainability, could no longer condone and tolerate the use of the fruit.
Following the recent California wildfires that have obliterated tens of thousands of structures and killed at least 85 people, survivors and residents within the proximity of these fire-scorched areas have had to deal with yet another potentially deadly threat: soaking rain and flash floods. Dr. Chris Rentschler from the University at Buffalo says, quote, "Trees and other vegetation have burned away, and where the fire was intense, soils can become hydrophobic," end quote, meaning that they repel water. Water will roll right off of the hydrophobic soil instead of soaking into the ground. He also says that, quote, "the soil absorbs much less water than before, if any, which can lead to increased surface runoff, creating a higher risk of flash floods and landslides that can endanger both people and property," end quote. Over this past week, storms dumped an almost 1.5 inches of rain in the areas burned by the Camp Fire in Northern California, causing an evacuation order to be issued in an area just east of Chico. Additionally, flooding of several feet of water caused several residents in this area to have to be rescued by rafts. Roads and highways have also been closed due to mudslides that have trapped cars and people in some locations. Recently, almost an inch of rain also fell in Southern California over the area impacted by the Woolsey fire, causing a flash flooding in this area as well.
A new documentary film, Paris to Pittsburgh, whose name is a play on the controversy President Trump started in 2017 about the United States backing out of the Paris Climate Accord, centers on how the city has taken a lead stand on climate change and environmental issues. After the screening of the film at Phipps Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in the Pittsburgh neighborhood Oakland, the mayor of Pittsburgh urged other states and cities to join in the fight and help make the cast for the sequel larger. The film was directed by Emmy Award-winning director Sidney Beaumont and focuses on efforts and achievements combating climate change in different locations. Some of the other locations that the film features are Miami, California, Iowa, New York, and Puerto Rico, and many more. Some of the efforts that are seen throughout the film is the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources currently underway plan of increasing electric vehicles and solar panels to power buildings. In Pittsburgh, Point State Park sets a goal to cut energy use and transportation emissions in half by 2030. Another significant plan that Pittsburgh is taking lead action on is the executive order for the city to follow the goals and guidelines of the Paris Climate Accord that was signed by 174 nations in the European Union. Hello, I'm Bree Guy with your weekend forecast, and we'll be having a nice drier pattern welcoming us this weekend. But first, we'll get through Friday with a light dusting of flurries as this high pressure system moves through our area. Then on Sunday, it's sitting right on top of us, and we'll have nice peaks of sunshine shining through. Temperatures will be on the cooler side, so if you are going to be outside, make sure that you are bundled up. More clouds will start to move in by Sunday, but that high pressure system is sticking to our area, so those dry conditions will continue. Going into Friday, though, we'll have a high freezing temperature of 32 with a chance for some light flurries to occur. That chance moves out, though, by Friday night. We'll be dropping down to a cool low of 21. Those clouds will start to thin out, though, and by Saturday, there will be plenty of sunshine out there. It will be cool, though, however, with a high of 31. So, again, make sure that you are bundled up. And that will continue on for Sunday with a high of 34 as more clouds start to move in. And speaking of what you should be wearing this weekend, Patrick has a great feature on how the winter affects clothing sales.
As you may have noticed, winter is in full swing here in State College, so I grabbed a few friends from the Fashion Society of Penn State to give us some insight into the modern trends that will keep you warm this winter season. I talked to the experts from the Penn State Fashion Society, Alyssa Botpile and Leo Wang, and they gave me the coming advice on coats and color to get your winter wardrobe started.
I would say a lot of like the new fuzzy jackets, maybe something like this, or the one that is more, I don't know, different, like a blanket kind of feeling, like that's really in lately. I would say sweatpants are really in lately, even though they're a little casual. They're definitely comfortable, and I think that athleisure look is like starting to become a big trend. Yeah.
So I would say definitely something like nice and warm because it's freezing outside always, especially in Penn State. So, but I just generally prefer some long coat, not only because it's just more stylish for me and it's just really warm, especially when it's really like super windy.
I'm more of like the one statement piece like this kind of look with like darker colors underneath. So I don't try to do much of patterns. And if I do, I just pick like one piece to be a pattern and then the rest to just be very simple so that you can just focus on that one article.
I prefer colorful, but just not too much. I would say like 3 color or less, but like black and white does never count. So as long as like 3 colors, it should be fine, mostly.
I turned our experts loose to put their knowledge to the test using the H&M store on Fraser Avenue in downtown State College as their canvas for fashion creativity. After several minutes perusing the aisles, this is what they came up with 2 outfits each. For those wanting to sport a casual work outfit for the winter, Alyssa suggests grabbing a puffer coat to keep you warm while outside. The maroon color to the coat adds a puff of color while keeping it tame for the season. For the inside look, she suggests grabbing an oversized blazer in the vintage style, complementing it with a black long-sleeve bodysuit to keep things simple and warm. On the casual side, Alyssa went with the regular blue jeans, but adding a statement belt to add some flair with a tucked-in shirt. Leah went with a more casual look, sporting an all-black wool blend coat, while adding some color with the yellow sweater and a scarf to top it off. For the second outfit, Alyssa went a little more casual, breaking out the overalls. The overalls fit to the figure and can go with almost anything. Alyssa went with another long-sleeve bodysuit underneath, but also suggested pairing it with a turtleneck for warmth. Speaking about warmth, the jacket brings it with its fuzziness while making a fashion statement for your outfit. For Leo's second outfit, he went with a dressier coat, but to balance the colors, Leo added the black and gray sweater with a scarf to complement the winter look. Since the holidays are right around the corner, we can't forget about the ugly Christmas sweater. Our experts suggested keeping it simple, loose, and comfy for your holiday party. For Whether or Not, I'm Patrick Wright, wishing you a happy and warm holiday season.
Hello, I'm back with your extended forecast, but first a quick weekend recap. On Friday, we'll be hitting a high freezing temperature of 32 with a slight flurry chance that will move out by Friday night, dropping down to 21. That cooling trend continues throughout the weekend, hitting a high of 31 on Saturday and a low of 20. However, there will be plenty of sunshine out there this weekend, so if you are out there, enjoy it. On Sunday, though, there will be more clouds starting to move in, but still some nice peaks of sunshine with a high of 34 and a low of 22. Make sure that you are staying bundled up for the weekend and also going into next week as this cooling trend continues. However, those dry conditions hang on to our area. So for many of you, the last week is going to be for the finals. So if you are going to be outside, it will be an enjoyable walk to finals week.
So, Bree, it looks like it's going to be very cold to start next week as well.
Yes, this cooling trend will continue on for most of next week. However, the precipitation should hold off until the end of next week. So for all of you winter and snow lovers, I'm sorry, but we shouldn't be seeing any snow for at least over the next couple of days.
We did ask you a snow-related question earlier in the show, though. Is in order to have a true white Christmas, there must be how many inches of snow on the ground on Christmas morning? Was it A, 1 inch, B, 3 inches, C, 6 inches, or D, 12 inches? If you said A, 1 inch, you are tonight's winner. The formal definition of a white Christmas is having more than 1 inch of snow on the ground on Christmas Day morning. Snow does not actually have to be falling on Christmas Day for a white Christmas to occur.
Statistically, State College has about a 40% chance of having a white Christmas each year. The last white Christmas in State College was just last year in 2017, when there was an average snow depth of 1 inch on Christmas Day.
Are you hoping for a white Christmas, Bree?
I mean, I think it would make the day even more beautiful, but honestly, Christmas is so magical of a day, so I'm happy either way.
Well, since this is your last episode of Whether or Not before you graduate, we do have a special present for you.
No, oh my gosh. What
There
is
you
it?
go.
Oh my gosh, should I open it now?
Are you sure?
Okay. Oh! Oh my gosh, don't quit your daydream. I love you guys so much, I'm gonna cry.
Thank you for all that you've done this
No.
semester on Whether or Not.
Thank you guys. This has been like the time of my life over the last semester and just last semester too, so
We hope
I'm
you all the
gonna
best
miss you
going forward.
guys.
Yeah, we'll miss you too. That's all the time we have for this week's episode. Have a great night, everyone.